America is a country in crisis. From divisive politics to angry TV pundits and social media trolls, Americans are constantly bombarded with outrage and negativity. It's so bad, many see those who disagree with them as not merely wrong, but as evil. Friendships end over political disagreements, and family members disown each other. Author Jackie Gingrich Cushman says 64% of Democrats and 55% of Republicans have few or no friends in the opposite political party. In her new book, Our Broken America, Cushman offers common sense solutions to stop the ranting and raving and bridge the great division within our country.
Well, Jackie Gingrich Cushman joins us now. In the book, you talk about that there's no overlap between what conservatives believe and what liberals believe. How does that work?
Well, it's very concerning, and you're exactly right. What's happened is we've become much more polarized as a country. We used to have moderate Democrats and moderate Republicans who agreed about a lot of things from an ideological standpoint. But that's no longer true. And so what's happened is both parties have kind of pulled apart from the middle, and there's very little overlap. And because we don't really talk to the other side, both sides don't, we don't understand them, and it makes it really hard to work together.
Well, you use the term sportification of politics. How has politics become like sports?
I think, unfortunately, that's what's happened. So the sportification of politics is really what's happened when we have a couple of things. First of all, the maps. It's always red or blue. We don't talk about beliefs anymore. We talk about the red party or the blue party. And so that really started in the Bush-Gore recount, when every day across our nation, we all saw the same maps watching the recount happen. And so it becomes much more like cheering for a sport than really understanding what the parties believe underneath.
Well, what is the answer, do you think, to that our broken America, why both sides need to stop ranting and start listening? Do you think they listen? I mean, because of the media, each group goes with the media that reinforces their own beliefs, don't they?
You're exactly right. One of the things I talk about in Our Broken America is that we need to do this in a local community basis. We can't fix this national narrative nationally. We have to begin at home. That's why I think it's really important. Families, community work are so important. And there are a couple of things we can do. One, we can start talking about the positive vision of our future together and our great history. I think all too often we talk about how terrible our country is, and really we should talk about how fabulous we are and be grateful that we live in this great nation. Secondly, we can begin to work together in community about whatever problem we care about and work with both Republicans and Democrats. And that makes a huge difference because people begin to understand that we're not terrible people on both sides.
You know, I want to ask you about the people who are, there was an item in the Communist Party that thought that the best way to overcome a nation was to denigrate the heroes. I think some of the rules for radicals that have been promulgated, isn't that what's happening? There's an attempt to make all of our heroes look like a bunch of mendacious, slave-owning, whatever term you want to use, as something less than honorable.
Well, I think you're exactly right. And I talk about that in Our Broken America. So what's happened is we have people that talk about our country horribly all the time, about how terrible we are, about, to your point, that our history is horrible. And that's just not true. We are the safest, freest, most prosperous nation on the earth. And we're not perfect. I'm not saying that we're a perfect nation. That's not the point. But the reality is we are the best nation in the world, and we should be talking about how good we are. It's just like if you have a child and you talk about how terrible they are all the time, they will eventually become terrible. But if you lift up the good parts about them and you talk about what they can be and what they can do, then they can be incredibly successful. We need that same positive focus in our nation today.
Well, you know, the whole concept of exceptionalism, we are an exceptional country. We have different laws and different traditions. There's no country like America, but these people seem to delight in negating that concept.
Well, we are an exceptional nation. We're exceptional because when we were founded, our founding fathers wrote the Constitution so that we were, in the Declaration of Independence, our rights come from God, not from anyone else. they come to the individuals, and then we loan them to the government. But what this means is we have to have an active and involved citizen base. And that's not really called for in this book, Our Broken America. We need active, involved citizens. We need them to understand how special we are as a nation, and we need them to work with other people in their communities.
Well, your father, by the way, is Newt Gingrich, is a dear friend of mine for many years. He's offering hope. He says in a period of tribalism that this book is offering hope. Could you tell us exactly what he meant?
Well, I think, to your point earlier, is we are really broken right now. We're segregated by party. So what I talk about in Our Broken America is that we really need to reach out to the other side, especially when we don't agree with them. We need to listen to them, not acquiesce. I never say we need to acquiesce or give in, but we need them to understand that we love them just as much as we love ourselves or our neighbor. This is really a call to action, to faith, to belief in God, and to say that together we can become an even better nation.
Well, I hope people will listen to you. The book, ladies and gentlemen, is called Our Broken America, and it's available on Amazon or wherever. Is it on the market, wherever you can get it?
Absolutely. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on my website, JackieCushman.com. And I really appreciate you having me on today.
Well, thank you very much, Jackie. God bless.